Hi there! Today I'm going to be explaining Backrooms Level, the hub. This is a level in the lore that is very important. It might actually be the most useful level to travel around the entire Backrooms, and even though that's the case, I feel like nobody ever talks about it. And really no one knows any of its lore, people just kind of mention it like they do. But today in this video, I'm diving deep into this level. If that sounds cool, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to get all the updates and new videos coming to your homepage. Without further ado, let's get into this level explanation and let's see what the hub has to offer, shall we? The level known as the hub has been given a classification of Nexus because it's a meeting point for other places in the Backrooms, and it's generally a very safe place to be in. There's not many dangers here. Its main goal and the purpose it serves is to act as a kind of transitional space that has access to different levels inside of this lore system, which is why it's called the hub. The hub itself takes place inside of a gigantic subterranean tunnel network. The tunnels are constructed out of various sorts of concrete and bricks with randomly segmented door frames kind of lodged into those tunnel walls. These steel doors are the entrances to the different Backrooms levels that you can go to. I'll talk about that in depth later. Just know there are random doors here that will lead you to different levels. The entire place is illuminated by an orangish yellowish glow that comes from the lights in the tunnel ceiling. Sometimes these lights are blown out or blinking or change colors or are different colors like red, but usually they look yellowish and they cast this really hazy glow on the entire tunnel system. In the middle of the tunnel, a very smooth asphalt road travels through its path. And on each side of that road, there are small concrete sidewalks you can walk along. And in the middle of the road, there is a series of dotted white lines that would usually be kind of used if cars were driving here. The hub's tunnel network bends and twists into random directions, which kind of makes it sort of disorienting to explore. On top of this, the spatial geometry in these tunnels is shifting and it's warping constantly, very similar to level 0's. And because of all that, there's really no way to map out this level, and you can't really pinpoint where the doors are gonna be that you want to go through because it all just warps and changes randomly. You're just gonna have to walk around the old-fashioned way to figure out which one you want to go to. The temperature inside of these tunnels is very cold. It actually stays below freezing at -3-ish degrees Celsius or 25 degrees Fahrenheit. But despite it being freezing, the liquids that flow through the various pipes here, they don't actually freeze somehow. We don't know how this is possible, but it is. These pipes usually run along the length of the ceiling, and above those pipes is a massive network of ventilation fans and ducts. Now this ductwork is kind of like a huge tunnel system that pushes cold air into vents that pump that air out into the tunnels here. And you could technically get up in there if you had a big ladder, but other than that, there's no point because it's just really cold. Now even though there's a perfectly fine road in the middle of the tunnels in the hub, there are no cars in this level at all. There's never been one seen here, you never heard one, and there's never even been one to be rumored in the level. It's just a completely empty tunnel with a random road. Now, despite this, there are still glowing road signs and direction signs for motorists to follow, even though there's no motorists. I'm not sure why that detail is important, but it's on the levels page, so I decided to include it. Now, back to the different doorways inside of the hub. These doors are always positioned at irregular locations. So it could be right next to each other by a few feet, or others could be miles and miles between each other. Some people have said that the tunnels will go on for hundreds of miles without even seeing a single door, and then all of a sudden there's 4 or 5 right next to each other. And since the geometry is strange, it really does make it difficult to get around. It's not like an impossible task or anything, but it is much more difficult to walk around than it normally would be. When you find a door here, you'll notice that it's made out of some sort of unknown metallic substance that cannot be broken. I say this because I don't want you to have any ideas of just kind of kicking a door down and going to that next level. You actually have to have a level key to open the door. On the door you find, there will be a number or a name that indicates the level that's behind it. So if you see a level 0 door, it's gonna have a 0 on the front. But like I said, in order to open whatever door you find and go to whatever level you're trying to, you're gonna have a level key. Now, level keys, they're pretty anomalous inside of the Backrooms. They actually have very strange connections to specific levels. They can be found very rarely, or they can be created, but it is very important that you have to have them here at the hub if you want to go to the different levels. You cannot just open the door randomly, you gotta have the level key. Anyways, once you open the door to the corresponding level that you want to go to, you will be transported directly into that place, and the doorway will disappear behind you. Sometimes these doors, they have colorations that are based on that level that they're directly linked to. Like level 0's door is going to have this faint yellow color, and the door to the pool rooms has a tiled texture and a blue color on its door. This is of course helpful if you can't read the giant 0 that will be on level 0's door, or the giant 37 that will be on the pool room's door. At least the Backrooms looks out for the stupid people too. It is important to note that not every level can be accessed in the hub. In fact, it's not even close to all of them at all. There's not that many levels that can be. There's obviously kind of this uncountable number of levels in the Backrooms, and this hub, it specifically only has a connection to some of those levels. Not all of them, just some. Now, it's impossible to say which levels can be entered through the hub. Like, I can't just tell you what's there, because I don't know. The levels page doesn't tell me. But there are obvious big levels that are discussed on the page, like level 0 and level 37, which is the pool rooms. You can go there from the hub. And I've seen things mentioned like level fun, level 154, level 18, and other random ones like that. There is no set list because the hallways are warping and changing constantly, but it is a large variety that you can choose from. But you can't just treat this as a kind of catch-all teleportation place. You have to have a specific thing in mind where you want to go, because you can't just skip to level 999. You know what I'm saying? It's also another important fact to know that when you're inside these tunnels, there are not any supplies that you're going to be able to find or use. Almond water, liquid paint, anything like that is absent from the hub. And the same thing actually goes for any other organic material, even like bacteria. There's none of it here. The hub is sterile and it's clean. And actually, the smell of the tunnels has a kind of faint bleach scent and window cleaner scent as well. It smells good. And the level actually keeps itself clean through unknown ways, because if you bring a drink to it and you spill it on the road will absorb the filth and it'll restore itself to a clean state. But yeah, there are no materials and there are no supplies here, so you're kind of screwed if you don't bring them and you plan on getting stuck for a long time. So simply put, you've got a massive winding tunnel network that smells like cleaning supplies. It's decently safe, it's cold, and you can access hundreds of different levels from these tunnels. And that's pretty much all that it is. We don't know where it came from, we don't know how it got here, we don't know exactly what the purpose of the hub is, but maybe it just makes life easier for the wanderers in the Backrooms. That would be a nice change of pace, I think. Now, there's a small addendum section on the hub's page that I'm going to go ahead and read for you all, because I know you just like listening to me read like an old storybook time. It's pretty interesting, and it kind of relates to the history that might exist about the hub, so if you're into that, stick around for the next minute or so. Quote, "Quiet yet inconstant. A silent hum emanated through the tunnels, changing in pitch every few minutes. It was tranquil, peaceful even. I found myself fading into the monotony, the long tunnels captivating yet dulling at the same time. I watched as each door passed by, each miles apart, yet always different in some aspect. They each resembled the places I've visited, which I both appreciate and find very strange at the same time. Legends spoke of a figure who would oversee these halls. According to the texts, he stood tall, too tall, almost as if he was inhuman. He spoke in a loud, serious voice echoing through the tunnels. He acted almost as if he was a self-proclaimed guardian or god of this forsaken place, and that he was trying to protect what he once held dear. But that's not true, is it? It's a hoax, from what I know, yet another unfortunate case lost to time." End quote. So yeah, that little addendum kind of suggests that there might be something else at play in the hub's history and the hub's lore, kind of connecting it to the different levels. This person suggested there might have been some large figure, some inhuman ghost apparition that controls the level, that oversees it. And maybe this thing is more powerful than we imagine. Maybe it forges connections to the different levels, kind of bending the fibers of the Backrooms reality to meet up here at the hub. Kind of like that character from Doctor Strange that can change the timeline with the fingers. Maybe that is what's happening in the hub, hub, and we just don't know about it. Now, even though the level is pretty safe, and it's very useful and utilitarian to know how to get here and know how to explore it, there are actually entities that live in the tunnels. Now, there's no Smilers or Vulpas or anything that kind of resides in the darkness. There's none of that here. But there are skin stealers and hounds and death moths that all inhabit these yellowy hallways. The good news is, the level is so massive and so sprawling that encountering an entity is pretty much impossible, or you just have to be really unlucky, I should say. So you should be pretty good. Even though there's no supplies, you're probably not gonna run into an entity. You just gotta come here, find the door you were looking for, and then you should get out and you'll be safe. Now, I'm sure you're asking the question, how do you enter a level that can enter other levels? Well, it's a good question, I'm glad you asked, but the main entrance to the hub lies on level 1. To find it, all you have to do is follow a very specific sequence of corridors and staircases in that parking garage that will eventually lead you into the tunnels. You can find the exact picture how to do that on level 1's page here right on the screen. I hope it's there. You can also enter from level 2, level 37, and level 154, because in level 37, which is the pool rooms, and level 154, those corridors eventually kind of dead end in the hub if you walk down them far enough, and vice versa. To exit, you could of course do what the level was meant to do and find a level key and take it to the level and then open up whichever door you want to go in, or you can walk down one of the thousands of tunnel offshoots until it fades into level 37 or level 154, or just use the level for how it's supposed to be used. The hub is genuinely one of those classic levels inside of the Backrooms lore, and I don't know how I haven't covered it in my 5 years of making videos on this stuff. Somehow I had not made a video about it. Not sure how that's possible. I have 800 videos and not one of them is the hub, but here it is. Finally, hope you enjoyed. The level has all the ingredients of a great level, right? It's simple, it's liminal, the design's good, there's not some creepy entity that controls the entire thing, unless you consider that story true, which it probably isn't. I never hear anyone talking about the hub, so I just did for like 10 minutes or 12 minutes or whatever. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you got to enjoy hearing a little bit more about the lore. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it, and I really do thank you for that. Please leave a like on this video if you want more content like this from the channel, as well as subscribe and turn the notification bell on if you want more videos like this in general. Check out the description for any links you might need. Thank you so much for everything. With all that said, I will see you in the next video on any of my channels. Bye.